from the University of North Carolina School of Journalism and Mass Communication, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics. This is Sports Extra.
UNC spring sports are rounding out the regular season and moving on to conference and national tournaments. So which Tar Heel teams will be deemed the best in the nation? Welcome to Sports Extra. I'm Delia D'Ambra.
And I'm Kate Eastman. Time will tell for UNC athletics, but here at Sports Extra, we like to acknowledge the best. That's why we've put together the best Carolina sports stories from the season. Basketball has always been big in the ACC, but with its recent success in the college football postseason, could we see a shift in culture? Luis Fernandez has more.
In college football, the Southeastern Conference has been king. For 7 straight years, the SEC claimed the national championship, with its championship teams winning by a combined 119 points. Then earlier this year, the ACC's Florida State swooped in and stole the national championship from Auburn on a last-second drive by Heisman Trophy winner Jameis Winston. In addition, ACC powerhouse Clemson defeated the number 7 ranked Ohio State squad in the Orange Bowl. With its recent success in the postseason, should the ACC trade in its basketball for a football? Durham Herald-Sun sports reporter Harold Gutman says, not quite.
So I would caution people from kind of jumping to too many conclusions just based off one year. You don't know yet if it's an anomaly or a pattern.
One way to tell if a program will succeed in the future is looking at its recruiting class. According to ESPN, the SEC ranks first with 10 of the top 25 recruiting classes for this year. The ACC comes next with 4 in the top 25. So where does UNC fit in all of this? Head football coach Larry Fedora.
Where are we? We're not where we want to be yet. We want to be on top, but we're making progress. We're climbing. We're getting there, and we're moving pretty fast.
Gutman believes UNC's time to shine could be fast approaching as well.
There's no Florida State in the Coastal Division that North Carolina has to worry about. Their schedule is pretty favorable as far as who they cross over against. So I think, that Coastal Division is there for them if they can grab it.
History says the ACC and Carolina will always have a focus on basketball, but maybe sometime in the near future, there will need to be more room in the trophy case for football hardware.
UNC will open its season at home on August 30th against Liberty.
The Dean Smith Center holds 21,750 people. Keeping it secure is hard work. I sat down with 2 of the Dean Dome's top security guards to get an inside look at just what it takes to be the muscle behind the game day madness.
John Dubus and Derek Woods have walked the halls of the Dean Smith Center for 20 years. Side by side, they keep a watchful eye on 2 very important things.
Our focus is really, protecting the coaches and the players and just being aware of what's going on.
Being aware of specific game day disruptions.
One thing that they don't want is TV cameras in the huddles or, reporters getting too close to the huddles.
Maybe some unruly patrons and just anything that might stand out is what we're looking for.
Dubus protects the opposing team's coach in his huddle, while Woods follows a familiar Tar Heel. Jobs that require long hours and a strict dress code.
I get here 8 hours before the game, but of course most people see me and I'm already changed into a suit. But usually I don't change until right 2 hours before the game because it's a long time to sit here, in a suit and a tie.
Clear communication is another essential part of their work, but these 2 have it nailed.
Funny because we could look at each other and know exactly what we're thinking, or we've come up with our own mannerisms or signals if you have to alert each other of what's happening.
This year, Woods celebrates his 20th season working with Dubus in the Dean Dome, and the 2 can't help but reminisce.
The most fun moment, I would say, was when Marvin Williams hit the putback shot against Duke in 05.
Rebound, Carolina, and a foul is called.
Even when guarding the enemy, Dubus and Woods still bleed Carolina blue.
I get asked a lot, well, how come you can't cheer at the games or you don't cheer at the games? And I tell people I cheer on the inside because I'm just the biggest fan as they are. But my job, when I'm out there is to protect the coaches and the players.
Protecting while enjoying the view from a front row seat.
The men's basketball team only lost 5 games in Carmichael Arena before they moved to the Dean E. Smith Center in 1985.
This year, the Athletic Communications Department has upped their efforts to recruit more fans and make sure that the women's team keeps Carmichael's winning tradition alive.
The women's basketball program has always struggled with lackluster attendance, drawing crowds that barely scrape the surface of Carmichael's 8,000-person capacity. However, the athletic marketing team has launched a series of promotional events for the 2013-2014 season in the hopes of giving the number 14 women's basketball team the spotlight they deserve.
We've changed some things this year just to try to get the attendance going in the right direction. We've done things specifically for students to try to get them to come out. We started at the beginning of the year with the Tennessee game. That was the first big game of the year.
Theme implementation began November 8th, and Way Back Wednesdays, Throwback Thursdays, and Sunday Fun Days were born. These prominent promotions feature free t-shirts, live DJs, face painting, meet and greets with the team, and discounted concessions. Along with these consistent programs come special one-day events such as Ramsey's birthday party. Sophomore forward Zylena McDaniel remembers the February 13th Throwback Thursday game versus Pittsburgh as proof of the program's success.
The ice was on the grounds and stuff. We were at a school, like campus was closed, but we still had a pretty good crowd. And so that stuck out to me the most. It's like they're actually dedicated to come to our game.
Numbers don't lie. Average game attendance is up nearly 300 per game from last season.
So they've been very successful. We've averaged over 500 students at each of those games. And in today's game for Duke, we had 1,000 t-shirts that we were giving away, and we got very close to 1,000 students here today.
UNC will host the first and second rounds of the NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament on March 23rd and 25th, and the players hope Tar Heel fans will put the madness in March. In Chapel Hill reporting, I'm Kate Eastman.
By the end of the 2013-2014 season, the women's basketball team experienced an attendance increase of 508 more fans per game and managed an Elite 8 appearance. Coincidence? Probably not.
UNC athletes had the chance to trade in their jerseys for black tie attire at the Rammies. Elizabeth Ayers tells us about all of the planning that went in to make the awards show happen.
As the end of the school year quickly approaches, student athletes attend a number of banquets to celebrate their accomplishments. This banquet tops all of the rest.
It's fun, there's superlatives, and we get to nominate our teammates and other people on other teams to win awards and just be recognized for all the cool stuff that they can do.
The athletics department held the first ever Rammies last year and modeled the award show after the Grammys, and of course added its own Carolina flair to the event.
There's a reception at the Carolina Inn after. It's just a lot more over the top. There's photo booths, a Carolina blue carpet, the band is there, there's a DJ.
A lot of work goes into planning the event, and this year the athletes on the Student Athlete Advisory Committee had the chance to contribute to the making of the Rammies.
Specifically helps with figuring out superlatives, giving input into the multimedia department, and then we also are the presenters.
Last year, student athletes entered the event here at Memorial Hall and walked in on what was a Carolina blue carpet. But members of the planning committee say they can expect this year's Rammies to be bigger, better, and with several new features.
So this year we decided to go a little bigger. So we invited more. We invited some donors and senior band members and cheerleaders. So we'll have a full house.
A year's worth of planning will finally come together Monday, April 14th, when the second annual Rammies kicks off. In Chapel Hill, I'm Elizabeth Ayers reporting.
The Rammies planning for this year's awards show started immediately after the inaugural Rammies took place.
Their dad played, their cousins played, and now they're playing too.
We introduce you to a Carolina family that's all about lacrosse, next on Sports Extra.
Connect with us online by liking the Sports Extra Facebook page and following us on Twitter at SportsExtra_UNC.
Mom, can we get some ice cream? Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does.
And like that. You're a job creator.
What if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow. My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
I wish I was in school.
If only I had a math test today. Or a book report to give. I wish I was in school. I'll stay after class. I'll clean the chalkboard. I'll do extra homework. I'll skip recess. I wish I was in school. I wish I was in school. I really wish I was in school.
School ends, but free lunches for your kids don't have to. Find your local food bank at feedingamerica.org/summer meals for help. Together, we're feeding America.
Think you're seeing double? Well, if you're a Carolina women's lacrosse fan, it's no illusion.
Juniors Lindsay Scott and Sarah Scott, North Carolina women's lacrosse only set of identical twins in history, share the same chromosomes but command different halves of the field. This sister act began on a whim when a friend's dad asked the girls to join a middle school lacrosse team. From that point on, the pair has been inseparable, co-captaining their New York high school team before joining UNC's national championship caliber program. The decision to play for North Carolina wasn't unanimous at first.
Actually wanted to go to separate schools just because I guess we were maybe a little sick of each other. So Lindsay always wanted to come here, and so she came by herself on a visit with my parents, and then she was like, "You gotta come here, Sarah."
Sarah joined her sister in Chapel Hill, and both saw playing time. Sarah as a backup defender and Lindsay as a reserve attacker during their freshman seasons. Although their roommates look identical and have the same interests, they approach the game of lacrosse very differently.
Lindsay's an attacker and she's a lefty, and Sarah's a defender and she's a righty. So they're literally mirror twins. And Sarah's one of our draw special kids. She comes up with every 50-50 ball, every loose ball. So she's really established herself as in that position for us, where Lindsay's more of a scorer. She likes the ball in her stick.
Lindsay and Sarah also say there's a fundamental difference in their personalities.
She's a little sassier. Okay. We'll say I'm more direct.
The twins have never been separated for longer than 48 hours, but are glad that they play opposite from one another on the field because they're so competitive.
We used to get kicked out of practice in high school. Not kicked out, our coach would threaten to kick us out. So we weren't allowed to play at each other anymore because it would get too aggressive.
The Scots might not be women's lacrosse's solitary set of twins for long, as #1 ranked UNC will attempt to add a 2014 national championship trophy to last year's identical hardware.
The Scotts will graduate from the Carolina family after one more season, but plan to carry on their sister act for years to come.
A student-led initiative at UNC, One Carolina, is determined to shine a bright light on the countless good deeds, great ideas, and outstanding work being done by the Carolina community. Hayden Jones has the story.
It all began with a text message. When Anthony Fernandez, a 12-year-old Morganton student, was having a tough time battling muscular dystrophy, his teacher reached out to sophomore Taylor Sharp for help.
Get an autograph or something for them. They said he was a huge UNC fan, and really just could use something special because he was going through some tough times. So I was with Marcus at dinner, and showed him the text, and we decided that we could probably do more than just an autograph.
Instead, Sharp and Marcus Page gave Anthony Fernandez a day he'll never forget, and One Carolina's first project was born.
One Carolina kind of came about with collective groups of meetings between students of just what they wanted to express about their university. And as this Anthony story came about, that's when we realized that in itself is a great story to tell from the lens of of what One Carolina wants to express.
The first class experience any Tar Heel fan would dream of began right here at Sutton's.
We met him at Sutton's, and that's where we had the first initial surprise of where he thought he was just eating with me, a family friend of his teacher, and then Marcus and Leslie came out from behind the counter at Sutton's. And from there, we walked to the old well, drove him to the Dean Dome, went into the basketball museum, we went into the basketball offices, he met the coaching staff, and then we went over to the weight room where the players were lifting weights, and he got to meet all of them there. And then he sat in on practice and got to watch it all and even give some pointers to Marcus and Coach Williams.
Wanted to put together a really great day for a good kid who deserves this.
Although Anthony is only 12, he will forever be a part of the Carolina family.
I'm Anthony Hernandez, and I'm a Tar Heel.
Anthony may be small, but he is Carolina's biggest fan. Sharp and Page arranged Duke tickets for Anthony and his family. Anthony made it to Chapel Hill for both nights of the Duke game. That is more than the Blue Devils can say for themselves. In Chapel Hill, I'm Hayden Jones reporting.
To learn more about One Carolina and the impact you can make, visit onecarolina1789.com.
Stephen Kelly on men's lacrosse recently underwent wrist surgery, and his Tar Heel family is hoping he can get back on the field soon to join his older brother Frankie and his cousin Patrick.
Elizabeth Ayers has the story about the Kelly family's love for lacrosse.
Family traditions are nothing new in the sport of lacrosse, but one family is taking it to another level. This year, freshman midfielder and attackman Stephen Kelly joins his older brother Frankie on the Tar Heel lacrosse team. And as if having two Kellys on one team wasn't enough, their cousin Patrick Kelly is also a sophomore attackman on the team. Playing on the same team is something they're used to.
We all just kind of grew up with it, playing together against each other and having our dads and uncles as our coaches.
Frankie, Stephen, and Patrick all had the chance to play together for 1 year on their high school team at Calvert Hall. And since lacrosse is such a deeply rooted family tradition, they were coached by none other than their uncle Brian Kelly, a member of the UNC 1991 National Championship team. And Patrick's father, David, also played at UNC, winning a national championship in 1986.
Getting coached by our uncles and dads, and it was awesome experience growing up, and it played a huge role in, I think we made each other better, and we were definitely competitive and wanted to be better, but we were also happy to see each other succeed.
Stephen Kelly says it's a little surreal that the season is finally here, and that this might be the last year he gets to play with his older brother.
Hopefully down the future we'll play on some teams when we're older, but kind of last hurrah together and being at one of the highest levels, that being D1 lacrosse at Carolina, to be able to play one more year with them is pretty cool.
And another Kelly family championship would be really cool too. In Chapel Hill, I'm Elizabeth Ayers reporting.
The UNC men's lacrosse team is looking to earn its 8th straight NCAA bid.
She's trading in cleats for heels and a track for a runway.
This UNC athlete might be a runner, but her passion is walking.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Amazing things are happening in teaching, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified. Not knowing what to do, they do nothing. But the people who take action are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making home affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers. right now.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
From the track to the catwalk, one Tar Heel is striking a pose.
Junior track athlete Corey Floyd balances running with modeling. So which came first, the spikes or the heels? Kylie McCoy brings us the story.
When Corey Floyd isn't sprinting down the Carolina Blue runway, she's strutting down a different one. In September, organizers chose Floyd to walk in Charlotte Fashion Week. It was her first time modeling.
From as far back as I can remember, I've always been told that I should be a model or I should try it. And I'd always been like, no, I shouldn't do it. You know, I don't think I'm cut out for it. So this past summer, I got those compliments again, and I was just like, I need to try this.
Although many people might think track and modeling have nothing in common, Floyd says they both get her heart pumping.
It's a different kind of adrenaline in a sense, but I really came to realize that it had the same rush that track had, honestly. Before I went out onto the runway, I was just as nervous as I was like if I was going to be doing a 400.
Whether she's putting on the Carolina Blue uniform or the designer dress, Floyd says it's all about overcoming the challenge.
Just another way for me to kind of conquer something new, and it's something that I didn't think I could do.
Floyd plans to look for more opportunities to model in the future. In the meantime, sprinting down the last stretch of the 400 is all the adrenaline rush she needs. In Chapel Hill, I'm Kylie McCoy reporting.
That athlete's passion is fashion. For this cheerleader, it's medicine.
And considering the recent controversy questioning the academic integrity of UNC athletics, it can be easy to overlook the athletes who excel both on and off the field. Casey Bennett reports.
Like most UNC students, Carly Gast can get stressed out trying to keep her GPA up. Unlike most students, Gast also manages an entire team. Captaining the Carolina cheerleading team has given Gast a new point of view.
When you sign on to be a UNC cheerleader, you're doing much more than the sport. You're a UNC cheerleader inside and outside of the gym or the court or the field. So it really is, it's a full-time job and we love to do it.
Filling the role of a senior captain isn't easy, and it wasn't even Gast's greatest accomplishment this year. She began her senior season tumbling across the field and landed at UNC's School of Medicine. In January, she was accepted on a full-ride scholarship through the U.S. Navy and will serve in the Navy Medical Corps after completing her degree.
My phone started ringing and it was 8 o'clock, and I looked at it and it was Dr. Fowler, who's the doctor that I interviewed with. And immediately I burst into tears because if they're calling you, it means you're accepted.
Although Gast looks forward to continuing her education at UNC, she'll miss putting on that Carolina Blue uniform.
It's tough to know that I'm leaving the family that has meant so much to me, but I am extremely excited to start medical school. I'm just so stoked to be at Carolina. There's nowhere I'd rather be. There's nowhere I feel like I fit in better.
Although she's trading a cheer uniform for Carolina Blue scrubs, Gast hopes to continue representing the school with the same degree of integrity that her coaches and teammates have come to expect. In Chapel Hill, I'm Casey Bennett reporting.
Carly was recently selected to cheer on the heels in the NCAA tournament. Talk about a great ending semester. The first rule of this Fight Club, represent UNC.
We introduce you to one of UNC's 5 martial arts club sports when Sports Extra returns.
Don't forget to tune in to our sister shows, Carolina Week at 5 p.m. every Wednesday on Time Warner 24 or Campus Channel 34, and Carolina Connection at 8:30 every Saturday morning on WCHL. 97.9 FM.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
They say that when you're facing extreme danger, your life flashes before you. If you think that's sad, consider facing it before you even have enough life to flash before your eyes. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Deaths and injuries can be prevented by using the right car seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to know what is appropriate for each age and size.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Good one, son.
Last summer, my new dad took me on vacation. First, we went deep sea fishing.
Wow! I'm so proud of you, son.
And then we went on Thunder Shark. That was awesome! Let's go again. 3 times. I gotta say, it was pretty cool.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Oh, not again.
There are 50 club sports here at UNC, and only 5 of them are martial arts.
And only one of the 2 martial arts teams is recognized as an Olympic sport.
It's loud, it's fast, and it's strenuous. According to senior member Matthew Fay, Club Taekwondo has lots of benefits.
It teaches hard work and discipline, definitely, whether you're doing technique or just, working out.
And working out is exactly what members do in their twice-a-week 2-hour practices. Senior Kimberly Maglino.
You learn a lot of cardio. The cardio can be very painful at times, but by the end of the year, you feel so much more fit than the beginning. You're like, yeah.
6, 7. Stretching, conditioning, and kicking are all essential elements of the art. Club instructor Austin Tortorisi says all 3 combined give members a unique life advantage.
It's a huge confidence builder to be able to just say, I can be safe if I'm going out and about, like even on Franklin Street or something like that.
Learning the proper footwork and rhythm of the art aren't the hardest parts, though. Tortorisi says one of the hardest things about learning Taekwondo is getting used to hitting things, and hitting them hard.
People have been taught, your whole life you're not supposed to hit, hitting's bad, whatever. But there is a time and a place for it, I guess, especially in something like a martial art, where the point is the original purpose was self-discipline and self-defense.
The 19-year-old club has techniques different from other martial arts, but many core values are the same.
We share a lot of the same values in terms of self-discipline, self-confidence, courtesy, respect, that sort of thing just is a common thread through all, especially Asian martial arts.
And the most common practice for this club? Welcoming anyone who wants to kick it with them. Reporting in Chapel Hill, I'm Delia D'Ambra.
That does it for this edition of Sports Extra.
Thanks for watching. Good night.